Already Quit a Podcast, Paul Morrissey, good man, in the Woody Allen glasses, insanely pale white, round face, Woody Allen glasses.
He is white.
And, yeah, he's very white. How were the optics on that? A brilliant guy, writer, and the only guy, I will say this, the only guy I've ever bought a joke from. Riddle me this, Batman. The only guy I ever bought a joke from. Not to do my stand-up. I've never bought a stand-up joke. But I did buy one joke that I did on a talk show. The talk show was Conan O'Brien. And the date and year, the year was in February, I believe, right after the Super Bowl last year. February of 15. And Paul worked with me in San Francisco at a club called Cobb's, and I was going to do Conan right after Pete Carroll made the worst call in the history of man, and did not run Marshawn Lynch, and instead threw the ball, and the evil empire of the Patriots caught the ball because it was deflated. By the way, I heard on the pack I made a McDonald's run earlier. I mean, went to the gym, and
So you didn't get tennis shoes?
Not enough time.
Oh.
Tennis shoes. Sneakers. You call them tennis shoes? Sneakers. Tennis shoes like what, Robert Alder called them in the Korean War. The real Korean War. Yeah, so what did I have?
McDonald's. You went to McDonald's, the New England Patriots.
Oh, Patriots. I heard come back that fucking Brady's taking this further. He wants to go to like the Supreme Court. What the fuck? You won. You got the ring. Deflated balls. Have a 4-week vacation. Go fuck Boonshin's mouth and Turks and Caicos. Right? And come back. And you got a ring. You got to play 4 weeks. We get it. You're into the game. That's how much Tom Brady likes football. Who cares? I don't care. You sound like a goof. Who doesn't want 4 weeks off? You got the ring. You win. The punishment would be you don't play in the Super Bowl. And throw 6 touchdown fucking passes. You dick. Bye-bye, dick. That's what, what's the commissioner's name? Roger Goodell?
Goodell.
Yeah. That's what he should have done. He should have hired that guy from Goodfellas, whoever that actor was, who plays the cop, to go, bye-bye, dick. To, literally, they should have suspended him from the Super Bowl. This would have been a great punishment, but not tell him until he gets to the game. Brady suits up. Suits up! They're about to play the Star Spangled Banner. Whatever androgynous dickwipe singer, who could be a guy or a girl, could be gay, could not be gay, could have tits, could not have tits, could have a pussy, could not have a pussy, could have a sitcom, could not have a sitcom. Are you offended by it? You're offended by it.
No, what are you talking about?
I gotta watch what I say right there now.
Get out of here.
Something weird going on with that.
Yeah, there's nothing weird going on with me.
Something weird.
And then
He's offended by something.
No, there's nothing that I'm offended by.
I don't know.
Not the church, not anything.
What are you talking about?
Not family.
What church are we talking about?
Just, I don't get offended by things.
What?
I do not get offended.
Well, what about the church? You're being passive aggressive.
You make fun of whatever you want.
Well, that was said hostile.
It was not.
Yes, it was. You said the church. You're very, very specific thing. You got to tell me.
My architecture class.
You
I
got to
don't
tell
care.
me. Well, that's not that. It's not an architecture class. That's the point. No, I'm just saying. There's something going on here. There's a lot of mysterious things being written. You're very shady lately. Fake laughter, silence. There's certain jokes. I'm surrounded. I'm getting pushed out of show business. I am.
Not by me.
My type of people. No, they probably got to you. They got to you. And like Dustin Hoffman says in All the President's Men, where they were focusing on the wrong thing. He said the problem is the story is somebody got to that woman, the librarian. Remember they call a librarian, they want information about Charles Colson. And Robert Redford says, who Charles Colson? The secretary. secretary for Charles Colson. Now, the secretary for at the library, the Justice Department. And she goes, yeah, Charles Colson, he wrote some stuff. I'll go pull some of that stuff. There's a lot of stuff on him. Great. Yeah, Mr. Bernstein? Yeah. Yeah, we actually have nothing on Charles Colson. What? Yeah, as a matter of fact, I never remembered a Charles Colson. As a matter of fact, I don't know what you're talking about. Goodbye. And, okay. And he's writing it down. And he tells Jack Warden. And Eli Wallach. And Martin Bolson. Eli Wallach's on that. And they're talking about some other bullshit. And he says, you're missing the point. The point is somebody got to that woman. In this scenario, Dan is that woman. Somebody got to. And the goal is to get me out of this. Because they didn't think I'd be making this much noise. From this couch. We can control Artie. He's controllable. He's a junkie. We can get him drugs. We can control him. We can make sure he's fat. We can make sure we can do his hair properly. We can do his hair in a way where he's really happy with it. We can get him a certain hairstylist on the side who will make his hair so good he'll be preoccupied with his hair. Which I am right now. I'm preoccupied with my hair. And I'm not thinking about saving the world anymore. I gave it up. I gave up my brand of comedy. And slowly I'm looking around on the set and there's a kid with a beard and a arm. Not one kid, but two kids are getting me there. Artie, you there? Artie! Come out of there. What are you doing in there? Not an English-speaking hooker went in there about 10 minutes ago. Where is she? I don't know. You lost the whore. I'm sorry. It's the fourth one this week you've lost. Tell Mr. Apatow I'm sorry. I'll pay for the whores. Well, you have to, because we were budgeted for 4 a week. And Pete doesn't want any of them. Pete's fine with no sex. Pete's working on the show. You're in there with a whore. Well, I guess I'll stop saying certain things. I'm going to censor myself. This is what happens. I'm censoring myself.
Please don't do that.
I'm going to have to. Because I have to start getting ready. We all do. For the police state we'll be living in.
No.
And guess who the police are? Broads. Ladies.
I agree with you on that.
Well, why'd you get them in?
I did not.
You want to
I have nothing to do with Angela Merkel or who, the woman who's running.
I don't even know who that is because I'm a straight
England.
Guy. I don't know who that is. I'm a dude.
And I have nothing to do with Hillary Clinton.
I'm a guy. I never knew who Elizabeth Warren is until she started yelling about Donald Trump making money. Dan did. I go, Hillary Clinton, who's I said, if she's indicted, who's going to be the running mate? Who do you like? I said, Dan, you're a Democrat. I'm not political. I'm not registered as anything. I don't care about anything. It's ridiculous. Look at these dorks in pantsuits. And I said to Dan, who do you like? He goes, well, knowing I don't know anything about it, so I can't push back on his rhetoric. Takes advantage of my lack of knowledge. To sound smart. Hoping I'll spew it out so they'll blame me on it. Well, I like this woman. You probably know she is very, 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 very smart. I love a lot of reviews. I love her. Elizabeth Warren. Exactly what he said. And I said, oh, well, Dan knows her. I think we know how that turned out.
My first choice was Jim Webb. You know that. I told you that.
I don't know who Jim Webb is. You tied us up in a web. A web of lies. Buddy Critter Podcast. Enjoy. Dan, that's an order.
Whoa, look at this lady.
Is that Bernie Sanders' wife?
No.
No? Oh, no, that's Paul Ryan. Paul Ryan just has that snarky look on his face.
You gotta look concerned.
He does. He looks concerned. He looks very disconcerted. George W. Bush is, I think, there's something wrong with him. He was on the memorial today. And while everybody was talking, he had his lips like pinched together, like he was trying not to laugh the entire time. He is a frat boy dickhead. Think about it. Like, he really is like talking to Michelle Obama all the time.
Did you see him dancing?
No.
Yeah, he was dancing during one of the hymns.
Oh,
he was dancing. You could see his wife and Michelle Obama were trying to hold his arms down, but he was wiggling his hips and dancing. He's the only one on stage dancing.
Well, what do you mean? Like, well, maybe he's trying to be black. You think around Obama he gets black? Listen, honey, Laura at the hotel later. That was impassioned. Listen, honey, you grew up privileged. I grew up around blacks. I know you dance around black people. Otherwise, they get very, very, very insulted. Honey, you grew up with $1 trillion worth of oil. The only black people were your servants. Yeah, okay. And your point is? I grew up a lot of black. I also owned black people with the Texas Rangers.
He bankrupted them too.
He figured out how to own black people
legally.
Yeah, Dad, I want to buy some black people.
Did he clean his glasses off on Michelle Obama's dress?
No. That would be nice.
Wasn't that the classic thing on Letterman? Did you ever see that?
Oh yeah. It was great. I thought that was funny. Yeah, what did Nick? Remember that guy threw the shoe at
yes,
Bush?
Yeah,
and he ducked, and Nick DiPaolo had the great joke. I mean, he would do this in front of liberals at the cellar, and then he'd lose them and call people cunts. It was so fucking funny. He said, but it's such a great joke, typical Nick joke. He goes, because that just happened. That shoe thing, that was a pretty big story. I mean, Bush just missed it. Bush looked like when Sonny throws a stick at Carlo. A guy in a press conference throws a shoe at Bush, picks up his shoe from about 5 feet away at a press conference, whips it at Bush as hard as he can, like Sonny and Carlo. And he goes, "Come here, George." This guy's been putting in bets, a lot of bets. It's
like a bad stand-up gig.
Yeah, well, we've all been there. So Nick's joke was, come on, I would never even do that to Obama. I'd never throw a shoe at Obama unless I needed shining.
Oh,
Jesus Christ. Fantastic.
Kills in Boston still, I bet.
Fantastic. Tell you where it kills, my bedroom. La Quinta Inn with me in it. Another comic called me up and it hit a funny bone because I would never advocate this, sober. I was using ether at the time. But it's not Nick. Nick doesn't do this joke. It was Rihanna had just gotten beat up by Chris Brown, and that monkey in Florida tore that woman's face off. That's kind of, I can't believe that chimp attacked that woman. I always knew Chris Brown was an asshole.
Oh God.
I think Minnesota got like a 10-minute standing ovation.
Is your opener?
Huh?
That was your opener? The guy from Lake?
Oh no, he wasn't racist. He was just very. He was trying to get a sitcom that would air only in a 5-mile radius. That guy was. I didn't know what to do. That might have been the most scared I ever. I would rather have followed Sam Kinison after that Dangerfield set that made him huge. I would rather have followed Dice after the day the laughter died.
It just gave you that feeling that you were in an alternate universe.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The worst thing, any comic will tell you, the worst thing, to see is the comic before you who's a local guy killing with local references. Mm-hmm. And you realize how big of a city New York is and L.A., the cities that we, live in or whatever. And, Boston compared to New York, for instance, Boston doesn't even have 1 million people in it. The whole city. You're talking about 800,000 people. There's 800,000 people within a mile of us right now.
Mm-hmm. In this building.
Yeah, in this building right now. And, a lot of them are blacks. But I don't, or illegal. I'll get rid of them.
Or nannies.
If I'm elected.
No.
So they're able to do local references, and this sometimes, actually, a Nick in Boston was doing an impression of a woman who had a weird voice who seated people at a steakhouse. Everyone in the 400 people in this club, everyone had been seated by this woman. Like, what the fuck? It's like being at a family wedding and you're doing an inside joke about someone in the family. All know it. And I'm thinking, what the fuck am I going to talk about? The walls were moving and people were laughing. So this kid from Minnesota, he had that real thick Minnesota accent. I was, oh my God. He's like, I went to ice fishing today. And I went to Lake, you ever go up to Lake Guanamatoba? Oh yeah, Lake Guanamatoba, yeah. You ever go to Lake Guanamatoba? You ever get that third enclosure? Oh, the third enclosure. Yeah, the third enclosure where the hole is not quite as big as the first two enclosures. Yeah, the one. And then on the way there, you stop at the local bait shop by Lake Guanamatoba, and you get Nancy's bait shop, and then you get Nancy's daughter, Enda with the lazy eye, Enda with the lazy eye. Everything. The walls were moving. The people put down their drinks to slap the walls. That's how hard they were laughing. As a matter of fact, this kid, I'm gonna say he was 26, 27 years old. I've never seen a comedian kill harder. Ever. Pick a special. Sam Kinison. That first Dangerfield thing. Eddie Murphy, delirious. Dice Clay on the New Year's Eve. George Carlin at Carnegie, Richard Pryor's first album. Heather McDonald on Showtime just the other day.
Maybe they're goofing on him. Maybe the crowd all decided to get together and laugh.
Well, that was Sam Kinison's theory on Whoopi Goldberg's career. That America agreed not to hurt someone's feelings.
Wasn't that Andy Kindler did? He was offering $1 million for footage of her being funny.
That's hilarious.
Video evidence of Whoopi Goldberg being.
Kindler's got balls, man. I was up in Montreal last year, and Kindler does this thing. This comedian Andy Kindler. You never heard of him because this is what he does. I think he's 58 years old, but he's hilarious.
Yeah,
he's absolutely. He did a monologue on the first time I ever saw Andy. He did a monologue on Mad TV my first year there. I think it's the third or fourth episode of Mad TV. I'm sitting in the makeup chair getting made up like Newt Gingrich. Yeah. I had to play Newt Gingrich in something called Republican Gladiators. I'm trying to memorize the 8 pages of dialogue while listening to a Sony Walkman of some of Newt's greatest speeches of him filibustering on the Hill. And, so I take it. I need a break from it. Well, they're slapping a wig on me. They're epoxying a wig on me. That's the fucking budget we had. $4 million for a wig. And, by the way, Charles Heston, I have the same head as him. I wore all Charles Heston's wigs. Whenever I did a movie, anything. And I would have a harem of chicks behind me when I had that wig on. They were afraid I was gonna, don't get ketchup on the wig. They rip it off, and then on me again.
Smelled like Brute.
The pumpkin. And the pumpkin turned into a midnight. And, so I what was I talking about?
Andy Kindler.
Oh, Andy Kindler. So, I take it off and I hear Andy Kindler in front of a crowd. Now, Mad TV's crowds, the audiences were like 16 to 25-year-old. We'll call them urbans. No, that's why we stand on the air, because we did target the urbans. And Andy Kindler's doing bombing horribly, but the jokes are some of the funniest jokes I've ever heard about. One of them was, the Wayans brothers are setting their race so far back, I'm considering opening up my own underground railroad. That was a joke he did for.
Well, he used to pick on Leno so much that Letterman started having him on like once a month to do like these things, and he told me this one story about he used to do those like the field pieces, and he did like a thing about this pogo stick, just shooting them up in the air, and he actually almost got seriously hurt. Like he went to like the hospital, and Letterman, he told me the story, like he sat down next to Letterman, and Letterman's like, how is that everything after the pogo stick? You should sue our pants off, you know? And he's like, nothing, I just ended up having a kidney stone about a month or two back, but it's not related. And Letterman goes, yeah, right.
We'll sew our worldwide pants off. So the other joke he did. Okay, these are the two I remember. The people didn't even know what he was talking about. He could have been doing them in Japanese. He goes, Ellen DeGeneres had the sitcom where she came out when she was fat. Didn't realize dancing was the funniest thing she could do yet. I watched an Ellen episode the other day. I made myself watch it because, whatever. If I have any kidney dialysis, I want to make it be like it's not that bad. So here's the other joke that bombs. He goes, I was watching Ellen's sitcom the other day. It's clear Ellen's been watching a lot of Lucy. Here's Lucy. What the fuck? Me and David Herman were laughing. David Herman was getting dressed up like Bob Dole for Republican Land.
Well, Kindler was always already doing like jokes about being like an old hack comedian when he was like 20. Remember, he's like, I told myself, don't say pussy, say vagina. I say cunt. I'm off network 10 years.
I love him. I do. I was in Montreal last year, and he fucking the only guy he fucked with in his thing was Louis C.K. being overrated, and Louis was like 3 feet from him. And I see Louis he came and did a set on the Nasty Show, and he was so mad about something, and I said, "What happened?" He goes, "Oh, fucking Andy Killer." I go, "What happened?" He goes, "He's a douche. Don't you think he's a douche?" I'm like, "No, I like him." And then he told me, I go, "What he did?" And I'm like, "Oh, Jesus." I go, "What did he say?" He goes, "It's just being a dick." I said, "Well, I guess that's out of line. You should have with you there. I mean, my God, it's terrible. It really is,
Well, that's the dumbest thing is to be in the room. That's like,
yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, what do you mean for Louis being?
Yeah.
Well, he didn't know, though.
Yeah, but when you're successful, that's who he's going to go after.
I don't know. I think Louis thought he was out of the woods. Well, that's the thing you do. That's what's ballsy about Andy.
Yeah.
He is that he went after, he doesn't care, but I mean, I think he's got a landscaping business, I believe, on the side. He did. I guarantee Andy's one of those things where he is like in a personification of that cliche that you don't think exists. A guy who really pissed enough people off to where he doesn't work. There's nobody.
Well, I have a lot of respect for him because I don't want to admit this publicly, but I did do.
Well, you're not on this podcast.
I did do Comics Unleashed once, and
who can't be? You got to do a TV spot. What are you gonna do? How did Byron set you up?
And I understand you're from upstate New York.
That's so great.
But Kindler was doing, I think they were doing like a stand-up show, and everyone was doing stand-up sets, and Andy noticed that it wasn't a union thing, like nobody was going to get residuals, and he said, this is bullshit, I thought everyone was getting residuals.
That is kind of.
I'm not doing this, and walked out, and they literally changed the contract for everybody so that everyone got residuals.
Good for him.
So he does stand up for it when it counts.
That is great. I'm thinking, though, not a lot of you guys did the comedy equivalent of Hey Jude that night. But I'm sure it's a few extra shekels.
I'll take some forced residuals.
Yeah, like what I'm told. Oh, that sickening motherfucker.
You should get him on here.
Fucking, I guess he's probably got a mansion in Minnesota.
He retired after that show.
Funny, it's so funny, yeah. I made a lot of money that year, Art. And he had an attitude like, follow that bitch. Follow that bitch, you New Yorker. Follow that, buddy. I'm on a little radio show here too, pal. Yeah, anybody can do what you do. I'm talking about Lake Wanamatoba. You go to Lake Wanamatoba, and then you of course, your ski jacket breaks, and you got to get a new hood from Tony. Tony, Tony's got the only store in town that mends the hood. Remember, Tony had the scare. He thought he had a mulatto kid. And then you get your Twins tickets. I scalp my Twins ticket from Ed Scalpers.
Hamburger.
And then you get hamburger. He's on the white accent. Hamburger. The hamburglar. Remember back when we could be homophobic with jokes? You remember the turd burglar? I used to do the thing. I forgot. Did I do this bit? I think it was my first special, but I don't know if I could do this either. But I remember I was at I was at McDonald's once, and they had the characters there for a kids' party, like Mary McCheese. Mary McCheese was the hamburger, and Mary McCheese was a woman. Well, they had a woman model playing Mary McCheese, and I said, you know, honestly, this honestly happened. I was 27 years old at the time, and I was hungover, and I got mad. I said something to the manager. Why is it a woman? Like I wasted time. We were late for a Yankee game, I think. So why is a woman the mayor of cheeseburgers? And the guy was laughing. I go, yeah, I guess you're right. But and my buddy said, were you really serious for a second? I said, I think I was. And then, and then I thought of a joke of how great, they call a model agency or acting agency when they need those people. And I said, could you imagine if a model was Mary McCheese? I said, that actually is the perfect woman. Like a model body, and her head's a big cheeseburger. What the fuck's fantastic? The nice ass, big tits, and her head is an enormous cheeseburger. That's a little sexist, but oh my.
That was your fantasy.
Oh, fantasy. And any guy who says that's not his fantasy, that's Alan Alda's fantasy. Pick up some sensitive guy.
You can basically eat a cheeseburger while you're fucking her.
You can eat her while you're fucking her. And I did. And you say can you tolerate your wife? I'm like, well, no, I'm lactose intolerant. No, I had a thing. No, you know what it is? It's on this whiskey talking. And okay. It's by the end of the set. And I named that thing that because I taped. That wasn't supposed to be my special, but by the end of the set, I wanted to tape a set to see about how the material went in Phoenix, and the camera guys got everything. And by the end of the set, I am ossified.
Oh God!
And I'm yelling out insane offensive stuff. And that's something I do. I remember that, yeah. You could eat her while you're fucking her. I kept saying, I'm a little mad. At one point, I guess two guys get up. You can't see them, and I have a carafe of Jack Daniels.
Oh, God.
The glass that the guy, Dan Murr, who's now deceased, I don't know what happened to him, but he lived in Arizona with a tan, but he was not that Arizona body. He was very big beer gut. All right, so he had distended belly. Which is weird on a 48-year-old wealthy white guy, and this tendon belly. But he gave me a glass of Jack Daniels. The glass, I mean, I could have used it as a hamper. Yeah. I could have put my laundry in the glass. Very big. And these two kids get up, I guess, in the audience. I'm in the middle of the sip. I just go, "Where you going, faggots?" I remember saying, I got like a 10-minute applause break. My point is, it's all about timing. Thank you so much.
Couple of Kansas City faggots.
Oh, that's the best.
I never understood that from Blazing Saddles.
Me neither. Slim Pickens is probably the only one who understands. Slim Pickens is the name of that guy. In Blazing Saddles, what Paul's referring to, arguably Mel Brooks' greatest piece of work, right? I mean, High Anxiety is great. Blazing Saddles is, you're hitting on all cylinders because you got Harvey Korman. I'd say that's his best movie, Blazing Saddles. Anybody agree or not disagree? Dan?
I think it's...
Dan's laughing. Yeah, well, I mean, you've seen all the movies, what?
Cleavon Little? Well,
yeah, I think it's his best movie.
Cleavon Little was supposed to be Richard Pryor. They give it to Richard Pryor, who has a writer's credit, because, the studio had a vote. He lost by one vote. The guy thought he was a doper, too much drugs.
Well thought.
They didn't think he'd show up. That was supposed to be Richard Pryor. And you think about Cleavon Little does a great job, but I bet Richard Pryor would have been funnier, especially with Gene Wilder. But excuse me while I whip this out. I could do whole fucking paragraphs from that movie, and I think because I have a podcast and no one can tell me what to do, I'll do it for you right now. Well, first of all, what we're talking about, the beginning of the movie, the white guys are whipping the black guys, whipping them. Cleavon Little is getting whipped in the beginning to make the railroad. They just got freed, but they're still working. That's what they're like. Stop. Stop it there. Stop. I want to do it. Is he listening? I don't want to play the movie for the people.
We got Michael Winslow sitting in. He's doing the gunshots.
Yeah, we got to fucking clean the mic. Michael Winslow. You know how many people died of Michael Winslow hepatitis C? You have any comics? Died mysterious deaths. And it lingers. I bet Geraldo died from that. From a Stress Factory gig Winslow did in 1986. Vinny Brand does not wash those mics, and a piece of saliva lodged in there from the mid-'80s.
Still got a payphone up there.
Yeah, exactly. What's his face? Who's the guy from Rick Avilas? The guy who died of the package, the AIDS, and was that his name? The guy from Ghost, who died of AIDS, comedian.
Patrick Swayze?
No.
The guy who was like the bad guy.
Yeah, the guy who killed Patrick Swayze, Puerto Rican guy. He was a comedian, and his name is Rick. Is it Rick Avilas? It might be.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know he was a stand-up.
Google it. Yeah, a heroin addict. He wasn't a fruit. He was a heroin addict, and he got it from a bandito, supposedly. Maybe he's a fruit. Maybe he's bisexual, which you know, what we used to like in Union, New Jersey, we used to call that a fruit. Yeah, he was a stand-up and a good one. But he was from Washington Heights and Spanish Harlem, Washington Heights, I think. And he used to, never, even though he was in Ghost, and he's good in Ghost in that. He played a good bad guy. He's a good actor, and he, especially after that, got major gigs, and was a great performer, and I think would have had a potential to be,
Ghost 2.
And Chico and the Man. There's a great story about him. I do not know if this is true, but whether it's true or not, it will be in my new sitcom, Marty's Black Kid. Okay. Tell me if you heard this before, Paul. Rick Avilas, heroin addict, is coming back from a gig going over in Jersey, going over the George Watt. Maybe it's the gig at the Stress Factory where he got something lodged in the mic that killed Greg Giraldo 11 years later. So, he's going over the bridge, 4 o'clock in the morning. Now, you remember him from Ghost, he looked very suspicious.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, take it in.
Not a lot of makeup.
Mr. Liberal. Very suspicious. Rick Avilas was a guy you did not believe what he said if you were an officer. In the 7-5, Michael Dowd, the cop, calls it a Puerto Rican mystery. The way he says it is it's so great the way Dowd says it, because 10 minutes into the 7-5, those guys they haven't said anything racist yet. And they have that Irish cop, like, when they got to say something racist eventually. And the first thing was a throwaway, and so brilliant. They pull over a guy, and he had no license, no insurance, no license plates on the car, no inspection sticker, nothing. The car was just wheels and metal. He had no ID, no driver's license, no passport, no nothing. Nada. No Social Security. I was like Ray Liotta at the end of the Goodfellas. I never voted. You couldn't prove I was alive.
Off the grid.
My vote, my birth certificate. Off the grid. Absolutely. And that's how the gangsters like to live. Off the grid. Not on the grid like today. With the mob housewives. And the Gotti brothers. Doing Italians a big justice there. Marx brothers are fucking the mafia.
The FBI follows you on Instagram.
That's what I mean. That's it. Yeah, right. John Gotti had a guy work for his crew. His name was Angelo Quack Quack Ruggiero. The reason they called him Quack Quack was because he talked a lot. And they don't like people who talk a lot. Mafia. So that was kind of a way to say, shut the fuck up. We're calling you Quack Quack. And but he was Gotti's like best friend from high school. And okay. Could you imagine, I want to do a scene somehow in a movie where you're going back in time, and Twitter is around in Gotti's heyday. They have Twitter. And someone says to Gotti, hey, John, did you hear Quack Quack open the Twitter account? At the real Quack Quack Ruggiero. Hey, guys, yeah, just fucking leaned on a union rep to get free wood at the fucking Whitestone Project. Hoping the Giants cover. Who cares, though? Who's paying the book anyway? I'll pay taxes before I pay the book. Going to give John his monthly fucking tribute. Yeah, I guess John will pay taxes on this, huh? Hashtag, hey, government, go fuck yourself. Yeah, God, he goes, have a Quack come back here. I'd like to talk to him. So, Rick Aviles is going over the George Washington Bridge to get home. And cops pull him over. 4 Irish cops who, quite frankly, are the reason we have Black Lives Matter. And, no, listen, they were having fun. They were having fun with the Puerto Rican mystery. And Michael Dowd called the guy, if you pulled over a car... where the guy had no proof the car was made in America or anywhere else. No proof he was made in America or anywhere else. And Dad called that a Puerto Rican mystery. And the way he casually said, he goes, the guy had no, the guy had no insurance or no license. Back then we used to call it a Puerto Rican mystery. I don't know. A Puerto Rican mystery. How great was Giuliani back then? He did not mince words. The Puerto Rican Day Parade, for like 7 years in a row, became Afghanistan. Afghanistan, 280-pound Puerto Rican women in belly shirts with infected belly button piercings, infections. Like they have gangrene going up their hairy belly.
Puerto Rican horror.
Oh, I love it.
That's what it sounds like a film genre, Puerto Rican mystery.
Another Puerto Rican mystery.
There's these 2 guys.
Who killed one? Who killed the one?
Listen, honey.
Listen, I'm just Colombo. See. Yes, see. Man, what problem, see?
Let's check the DNA.
Yeah, did the Puerto Rican mystery. Did you ever see the movie Colors? And LA Gangs, Colors, the one with Sean Penn and...
Yeah.
Did you ever see that?
Yes.
There's one guy who's supposedly like a real gang member. It's the most annoying actor ever. You know the guy I'm talking about? One of the gangs, the informer that helps out Duval and Pac-Man, and all he goes, "Yo, home."
Yes.
He says "homes" every other word.
Right.
Yo, home. When I die, home, that's how I'm gonna go out. Home. I'm gonna be home. I'm gonna have the pussy home. When I go out home, I'm gonna be broke. My last check gonna bounce home. I'm gonna be in the pussy when I get shot up. Cause I'm going out like a warrior, huh? I'm going out with a cop on a bullet in my head for the cause, huh? I'm gonna die for the cause, huh? These cops ain't gonna ever get my real name, huh? I'm gonna be on my deathbed, huh? And they, what's your real name, huh? Fuck you, Pac-Man, you ho. Pac-Man, you are telling fuck you. And then they get my son, they take my son. I fuck my son. I said, I bet my son out. You ain't got no money. I said, boy, I got money buried underneath the fucking police station. How'd you get that? I fucking put it as a joke. Huh? Where'd you do that? Huh? I did that as a fuck you. Huh? Fuck you. After you arrest me when I was in for a pumped up charge. Huh? What you doing today? I'm gonna get pink taco. Huh? Yeah. I'm gonna, why you dressing that flannel shirt? Huh? You tied up there? You tied just the top button? Huh? Yeah, I invented that shit. Oh. Yeah, my son look up to me. Oh. How you do that, home? You only 4'8". Oh, oh that boy. Oh. His mother was a bitch. Oh. But when I know, I'm gonna be in that pussy. Oh. When Pac-Man put a bullet in home head, me being home in this story. I talk in the third person, then I'm home. You understand? I call you home, but I do. But I'm home too. So everybody home. Except my wife's brain, that ain't home. That ain't never home. I call my son. Come on. And yo, why you doing this for so long? Yo, oh, Marty, why you doing this?
Can you have him sing a Dan is Gay song?
Oh, my name again. Hello. What's up? What's up you want to sing?
Dan is Gay song.
Dan is Gay. I made a song about damn being. I made a song about damn being faggot. That don't go in my neighborhood. I take any joke home. You could talk about me and my mama home. Or my bill. You could talk about how I dress home. You better not call me no faggot home. You call me a faggot home. I get out the clock home. Oh. Our best friend look like Rico Suave. Head in the movie, before you got famous, And I said, Robert Duvall, can I be in your next movie? And Robert Duvall said, you can't be in my next movie. I said, wow, easy, cause it's called Falling Down. And I'm in it with another guy, Michael Douglas. I said, I buy meth from Michael Douglas' son. He gonna go away. And when he go away, I'm gonna tell people fuck his mouth. Anyway, that guy shut home a lot.
I think he did this weird thing with his hands too during the movie.
Right. He was odd.
He was killed, I think, in a car crash.
In real life?
Yeah, when he was filming
Was he in Pussy?
Weird Al Yankovic. That movie that Weird Al Yankovic did.
Yo!
UHF.
Yo, I got killed. I'm up in St. Peter, St. Peter sends me home. You say you be a pussy when you die. I said, that was my character. It goes. And they said, why would Weird Al Yankovic pay the bank home? My favorite Weird Al Yankovic home is his parody of the song, the movie Bad by Michael Jackson.
What was it, VHF?
It was Fat.
Silva died. Silva died at age 38 in a car accident involving collision with a drunk driver in Whittier, California, while filming with Weird Al Yankovic the movie UHF.
UHF.
Oh, I was right.
Parts of which had to be rewritten because he had not finished his role.
Yo,
now, that is sad.
Yo, listen. You can see my parts. My lines, they always end with the word. By improvise. Home is like my hamburger. Out of hamburger, I say,
I wonder why UHF didn't have continuity. I was wondering.
I did, yeah. But it looked like me, and then all of a sudden it's Carlos Mencia. That booty, And I was supposed to be in the. Yo, Louis Guzman is a poor meal. Poor man me. He says Miller after every home. He says, I say home. Home way more street home. Take care of home. But yeah. They say I'm fat home. I'm fat. You know it.
Shamon.
Yeah, Shamon. You ain't fat. You ain't nothing.
The funniest one I ever heard about the Stress Factor was a guy was going long on stage, and they kept giving him the light, and the guy was like, "Yeah, they want me to get off. Do you guys want me to stay?" And everyone's like, "Yeah, stay." So he goes longer, and then they turn the sound off, and he's like, "They turned the mic off on me, but you guys can still hear me." And they're like, "Yeah." And then all of a sudden, I guess they finally just turned the lights off on him. And it's like quiet for like 3 or 4 seconds, and all of a sudden you just hear from the silence, he's like, "So where are you from?"
What, bro?
You don't know who that was? I heard that over there. It was just about some guy who just ran the light so bad that they did all that shit to him. He was just like, "So where are you from?" and still trying to do crowd work. I wonder who it was.
Oh, I don't know. I never heard of that before.
Isn't that the one you were talking about? You left a hamburger in the drawer and waited.
Well, that, at the Stretch Factory, no, it was what was the breakfast sandwich? That was a McGriddle. I kept talking about, like, when McGriddles came out, I had just started on Stern. I had one in the morning when I walked in there, and Howard couldn't believe how bad I ate, how unhealthy I was. And he was the other extreme because he would have, boiling water in a cashew at night. And I said, well, you know why you're miserable? Because you don't look forward to anything. I mean, So, so Rick Aviles. He looks like he looks. He's a comic. Coming home, 4 o'clock in the morning, gets pulled over for speeding on the George Washington Bridge or reckless driving, whatever. And, again, a heroin addict. The cops search the car and find heroin. And they say, listen, he explains he's a comedian and he's come back from a gig. I'm sorry. He says he was in Ghost, and one of the cops, I saw it with my girl, I remember Ghost, whatever, but he goes, the cops start talking, and again, this is 1980s, politically incorrect cops. Imagine this, there's traffic going by, it's 4, not a lot. They say, listen, we'll shine a light up on the hood of your car, get up and do like 5 minutes of stand-up if you make us laugh. We'll forget the heroin and let you go.
Really?
Yeah. and according to Aviles, and again, some people do lie about the cops being assholes. He does 5 minutes. Can you imagine? And then the guy goes, "No, we don't like it." And they arrest him.
Oh man. Oh.
I thought you were gonna say he asked them if he could do the heroin first.
Well, that's the thing. Aviles was going through withdrawals. That's the worst. And then you realize you got to go through withdrawals in a jail while you're getting booked.
Oh.
You know what I mean? You guys all know that feeling, right? But we all know that feeling.
I quit drinking Diet Coke for a week once, and I was climbing the walls.
I tell you,
caffeine free for a week.
I feel for you. That's tough shit. No, it
It's
isn't.
like black tar.
No, it isn't. I mean, the guy, he shot it too. And the word is always that he died of AIDS, but I guess he.
No, it was AIDS.
But you said he had heroin.
He was a heroin user, but it was from the needle.
Didn't I just say that he died of heroin? Dan said, yeah, right.
Yeah.
You said he died of heroin.
I'm sorry, I misunderstood.
Okay. You misunderstood.
You were right. You were right.
Either way,
I feel
not good.
Nah, you're right. Both terrible ways. I had a trivia for Dan. Maybe we discussed this the other day. The Padre in the 80s who died of AIDS. Did we talk about that?
Yes, we did.
I remember Alan Wiggins. You didn't know that, did you?
What's that?
San Diego Padre who died of AIDS in the 80s.
Really?
Yeah. What is it? Andrew Wiggins? Something like Andrew Wiggins. Yeah. Andy Wiggins. Second baseman.
Mm-hmm.
Died of AIDS. You got to guess on what color he was or no?
Oh, God. Jesus.
When he died?
Well, we're just...
Like blue?
Blue Lives Matter. He actually changed over at the very last 4 seconds of his life to a pro-police slogan.
That's a bad way to go. Heroin or AIDS.
Oh, well, heroin's clearly better.
That's the... Did you ever hear the Norm joke about one of the Manson family people died of terminal brain cancer?
No.
Or inoperable brain cancer.
Right.
And he's like, that's about the worst thing you can get. And don't get me wrong, operable brain cancer, no picnic either. Couldn't do that on Letterman, though.
No, he would, though.
That's still one of the great sets, that last one that he did about the Germans. The Norm did. Did you ever see that one?
Exactly. And I did the road with him. I opened for him in places. It was great to see him on the road when an audience didn't get that humor.
Right.
Because he would still just do it at the same pace, just plow through it. And he would actually, be more amused as a comedian. He said when people didn't laugh, he goes, "It's just so funny to me that these people paid to see me be funny, and I'm doing the direct opposite thing." like I'm doing the direct opposite thing. I'm not making them laugh than what they paid for. It's like a guy you pay to mow your lawn, and instead he comes over and tapes pieces of lawn to make it higher. I mean, yeah, it's comedy is, you know, it's just, I mean, when you travel the country, it doesn't make sense that you can get a bunch of people to laugh in every city. Because, you know, there's so many variables. You know, you might be drunk or hungover, or, you know, God, thank God there's jokes you could do just like a robot.
But you have that thing where you still want to do a show, though, right? Like even
No.
Oh, you don't?
I'm kidding.
But even like the Playboy Mansion thing was a nightmare gig, but you still like got through it.
Let me tell you something. Those gigs become more fun at this point because it's a story, something different.
Right? Yeah.
So I mean, you know, no one's listening to me at the Playboy Mansion. You know, okay? I'm 4 feet away from where, you know, Will Chamberlain and James Caan got blown in the 80s. Maybe standing on a spot, where, you know, Burt Reynolds broke a chick's jaw, you know, with his cock, and then his hand, and then his arm, and then with Will Chamberlain's cock. You know, just funny, crazy shit happening. And, you know, you're there, and you want to do well, but you know, sometimes you don't, and sometimes it's in a funny, interesting way. Because if you're doing the road a long time and you keep getting booked, clearly you're killing most nights, and it does, quite frankly, get boring because it happens. Right? So when it doesn't happen, it's just exciting to a comic because it's more interesting. And I tore my pants on stage. No one was listening to me. Jerry Buss, the owner of the Lakers, was flirting with 3 Asian waitresses. And I'm like, no one's listening to me. And I had to stay on stage for 15 minutes to get my pay. And I sang Battle Hymn of the Republic and the American Trilogy by Elvis. I just belted it out. Nobody noticed. Nobody gave a fuck. Not even the guy who was supposed to pay me. My pants ripped when I imitated Elvis. And I guess he was very mobile in those pantsuits. He would do full karate. And I figured I could. And I had fucking these my cargo pants were tight. And when was this? This was 2000, I guess. I don't know, 3. Sarah Silverman actually went before me. They booked her. She did very well. Because Jerry Buss was listening to her. The chicks didn't come out yet. And she leaves stage. And my assistant Teddy at the time, I needed him to get me new pants. My pants ripped with the Vicodin in them. So guess what else you have to replace? Dick lick. He's at the monkey cage. He really had a monkey zoo. After he's over there with Sarah smoking a joint. Teddy. I'm like, hey, dude, who fucking died and made you Mr. Silverman? Piece of shit. She's not gonna date you. What are you gonna do for her? Nothing. I got a shot. I need cargo pants and 100 painkillers, you fucking fag. Go over to Bloomies.
Bloomies.
That's what he called Bloomingdale. I had him throw. I asked him to leave the limo, and he thought I was kidding. It was in front of girls, and I said, "No, it's 4 blocks from our hotel. Leave. Get out." And I made him get out and walk because he said, and the girls couldn't believe it. I go, "Why'd you?" I said, "Because he said Bloomies instead of Bloomingdale." He's talking to chicks trying to be like, yeah. We passed by Bloomingdale's. He went, looked at his Bloomies. And he just caught me in the wrong mood. It was a bad road trip. And I was like, whatever, I don't want to be here anymore. I got a 6-hour flight back. I got up at 4:30 in the morning to do my paper route of a show over there. And at some point you say to yourself, when is the cutoff time where I just say, fuck it, I'm going to stay up all night. And that happens sometimes too. And God, was I sharp. God, was I bantering. You know, it's just a weird business, man. Weird business. And then I threw up in the Porta-John. Of course, the story at the Playboy Mansion got better. I threw up and there was a Porta-John. We weren't allowed in the mansion. That's how the gutter snipes we were. Yeah. You can't come in. It's half. Yeah. Yeah, me and 18 Blondes are showing a old movie to Don Adams. Jeez. Okay, that's not too weird. You know, I just love stories like that because I think it proves you're in show business. To have bombing stories means you're in show business because you're also bombing. But it's very difficult at the time. Right, Paul? It's the loneliest feeling.
Yeah, I mean, I still have that thing where I want to save it somehow. Well, you have the thing where, I mean, I've seen Norm just make a decision like, all right, I'm just turning on him.
Well, I mean, listen, I've experienced this with Norm, too.
Publicly.
But I also saw Norm do a brilliant thing. A brilliant thing. But he set me up. He goes to me the first time we played theater on the road with him. It's the first time I had ever played a theater. This is what, 97 or whatever. And he goes, hey man, there's a theater in San Francisco, Palace of the Fine Arts. He goes, hey man, there's a theater in San Francisco. I go, yeah. He goes, no fucking fag joke. I go, what do you mean? He goes, I've seen your act, dude. This is a theater in San Francisco. There'll probably be a critic out there. No fucking fag joke. I go, I won't, no problem. I go, all right, man, just make sure you know, don't fuck me over here. Step it up a notch, you know? I go, all right, man. And meanwhile, you know, without fag jokes, I had like a 30-second act. And so I go out and I struggle through 20 minutes. But I do it. And I'm proud of myself. And they like me enough to where, okay, we got the ball rolling. And I said, this is gonna be fine. Norm's first joke, before he says hello, before he says great to be here in San Francisco, this is what he says. Hey, how about that AIDS?
Oh, God.
He goes, you know, Jesus. I always hear bad things about AIDS. But I read in the paper the other day that AIDS doesn't discriminate. And that's kind of nice. That's the joke. I always hear bad things, but I heard AIDS doesn't discriminate, and that's nice. And it got a very healthy laugh. And then he killed. And the guy in the paper the next day, I said, Norm, you should frame this. This guy totally gets it. He, in a very gay-friendly paper, he gave the show an amazing review. Me and Norm. Loved us. Loved us. So what does that teach you? I don't know.
I had one in L.A. that I used to tell was it was during the Olympics, and they showed this guy when the Olympics were in China there. They showed the guy in the stands, and they said this guy was the Magic Johnson of China. And I said that the guy didn't even play basketball. He was just a Chinese guy with AIDS. And he owned a movie theater in the shitty part of town.
Is very gregarious. I used to have a thing. No, I said it the other day on the show. I said, somebody told me, I thought about when somebody asked me in an interview that I did. I think it was HuffPost. What's the rest of your family? Do you have any, I have any cousins or people related to or funny, whatever? And I said, no, I have, my one cousin is just like Woody Allen. So I really like, he's not funny, he married his daughter. And yeah, another girl from DeVry that'll never interview me again. Not DeVry. Vices. What's it called? Vassar? I said DeVry.
Yeah, that DeVry.
Vassar.
The DeVry journalism school is shit.
I mean Vassar. I can't wait.
You can learn how to make a toolbox and interview comedians.
Attell has a joke. Goes, you ever on one of those dating websites? You hit the wrong button, you accidentally enroll yourself with the bride. Oh, that's fucking great. Absolutely great. He goes, you know. He goes, you know. He did this. We were on stage the other night together. Sometimes we go on stage together at the end of the night at the Cellar, like till 4 o'clock in the morning. And it's just to try to get pussy, because like the Cellar is set up like fish in a barrel. You know, if you could, the chicks see you downstairs, And if you look like me and David Tell, that is the way to get women. This is the way to get, because if you can have a good set, hopefully, and if hot chicks are watching it, obviously you'll do the material that will kill. I do it every time. I'm not going to try anything new if I want to try to fuck a chick. Because, again, there's a whole Seinfeld episode about it, and Paul may testify to this. If a chick sees you kill, it really is an aphrodisiac. It really is. Because they're seeing you in an environment where you are in control of all these people. And they're waiting on the next thing to come out of your mouth. They're waiting on the tip of your tongue. Like, they're interested in you. And they're overpaying for a beer. They waited on a shitty line. Maybe they're on a miserable date they're sitting through just to hear you tell jokes. And they're paying their hard-earned money. A lot of it. And that's great. It's just a wonderful thing to know how to do. But quite frankly, I don't know. Do you think you could do anything else, Paul? Anything else?
Well, I mean, not for a long period of time. Like I know that if I had like an office job, or even I was a TV sports anchor for like 2.5 years, and I got to cover.
I remember that. Yeah,
I got to cover the NBA, NFL. I covered John Ritchie with the Raiders.
Right.
And that sounds like it'd be a fantastic job, but when you're doing it's like being a comedian and doing the announcements. That's what I felt like I was doing. Like I couldn't do anything I wanted to do. I couldn't be funny.
I was terrible at that.
And it's like I even that was like too restricting for me to be a TV sports anchor and just cover sports for a living. So that means I can't do anything else.
No, you're right.
But it was perfect that way. That I went to work at 3 to midnight, which is the same shift that a comedian has.
That is the best. Those are some partying hours, man. I'd have fucked that up.
No, that's your cycle though.
Well, it was.
You meet the people that do like morning radio, morning TV, and they just never recover. Like,
I'm never recovering. I think that you're saying I look lethargic. I'm thinking that James Gandolfini, the schedule that, because again I worked today on, I think episode 5 or 6 of this. I'm shooting an HBO series. I'm a regular on an HBO series, and I didn't plan on it this summer. I plan on doing what you're seeing now. I plan on laying on my couch.
Working on your abs?
Yeah, I could. I could try.
This is the summer of abs for Artie.
Is it? Summer of, it is. I thought it was a real thing. It's the abs, Henry. Get at it. I'm doing it. Dan walks all over the city. That's how he stays thin.
I'm not thin. I'm heavy.
I know, but you were way fat. Were you way fat then?
For a while, yeah.
How big were you?
I had a 46 waist.
So you are such a chick. That's exactly what a chick would say. Dan, what the fuck?
I don't know.
I need a number.
I don't know what.
About. You know about.
No, I don't.
46 just means you have odd hips. That's all that means.
Exactly.
Nobody has 46 hips.
Right, you don't have to be fat. Yeah, I know, really, 46. If they gave me pants that were my actual waist size, I'd look like,
I mean, me and Artie both still have 34s. We're just wearing them down our ass.
I literally wear them. I mean, I go to, and I say to these people at the wardrobe department, do not get me the size of my waist. Okay? Okay? Man named Nancy.
Yeah, won't they give you pants at the shoot?
Yeah, quite frankly, I'm taking a bunch of pants. Yeah.
I know because his agent texted me this morning, make sure he brings the pants back.
Well, how come you didn't text me and tell me? How dare you?
I did. I put in, you had the note right by the door.
When?
This morning.
Oh, you did in the lottery, though.
That was, what's his name? Rocky Laporte, I think was the guy's name. He's a comic from Chicago, and he just kind of...
I think.
He was doing like a movie about being a prisoner, and he was dressed up. He just came as himself, and he's like, that's perfect for wardrobe. That's when you know you're dressing shit.
Well, I did that a lot, too. I used to say that at the Norm show. Like, I played basically me.
This is what I would wear.
And I'm like, what are you going to fit in? What am I fitting for? What are you talking about? And they go, well, let me try the shirt on another color. I'm like, okay, well, use your imagination. It's me in a red shirt now. the fuck? Guess what now? Guy named Aubrey. I'm in a red shirt.
They pay you for your own wardrobe, though. That's the good thing.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Quite frankly, I hate to insult you or sound arrogant, but I haven't eaten that $15 for a while.
But it is funny that they add that in. They're like, if you use your own shirt.
It's all union shit. One time I had to do blow in the scene. I said, what if I bring my own cocaine? Because quite frankly, I will be anyway.
Theirs would have been pharmaceutical grade, right?
That's good stuff, man. Again, I told you I did the only time I ever think I really got that level. Because you don't know what's in it. What's in it? Is my buddy, who I worked at CBGB's with. Yeah, well, CBGB's had a CBGB Improv. That was the name of it. And it was right next to CBGB's. And it did comedy in between art shows. And it was very sophisticated. And I said, I'm going to try to audition for this. And Jimmy Palumbo did as well, my old friend there. And he was going into the city with me. And I got pharmaceutical grade cocaine from Dee Dee Ramone one night. Because the kid worked at CBGB's and he knew Dee Dee Ramone.
Oh, I thought Dee Dee was a pharmacist.
Later. No, you confused. Dee Dee wasn't a pharmacist. He was a guy who blew guys at 53rd and 3rd for poppers. Talk about an honest punk song. There's a song by the Ramones called 53rd and 3rd. Listen to it.
Yeah, that's a good.
Yeah. Listen to it. Listen to it and tell me if the Katy Perry song's edgy on the Z100. It basically is Dee Dee Ramone admitting that, before he was successful in the Ramones, before he learned one chord and played in the Ramones.
And went to DeVry Pharmacy School.
Yeah. He would go to the subway station at 53rd and 3rd, and that's, was a place where guys would pick up boys.
Is it still Dan, or is it?
Listen, I know that comes up a lot on Uber. 53 and 3rd.
You mean the area called the Loop?
Yeah. Listen.
The Brambles.
Listen, I'm going rambling in the Brambles. No, that's didn't correct entry. I said when I was watching the Livingstone Bramble fight. He was a boxer. Does anyone get that reference?
Yeah, I know.
You do?
Guy. Yeah.
Livingstone Bramble. I'm going to try to describe.
He had some dreads, right?
I'm going to try to describe. I don't know, listen. I'm going to try to describe what Livingstone Bramble looked like. And you know what? There's no way for me to do it without accepting the fact that I'll be working construction Monday. Let me tell you something. If I described what I really, in an accurate way in my head, every single option I'm thinking of, if I used any of them to describe what the boxer Livingstone Bramble looked like, I would make Michael Richards look like a racer activist.
What if you produced his 30 for 30? Would that make up for it?
How'd he do it? Oh, maybe.
You could do it now and then make it up.
Did that? Oh, that's right. No.
Michael Richards is producing Hamilton. That's his way of getting back.
I always had, and this is controversial, but after watching that tape, and again, videotape, without a videotape, you know what? That's not even, you don't even hear that story. People try to tell it, and Michael Richards just goes, what are you talking about?
Why would I do that?
Boy, come on, like I said that. And you don't actually see him doing it. Like, you know what I mean? That's a big thing. You actually see somebody doing it. Like, my mother knows I've done a lot of cocaine. My mother, if she ever actually saw me do a lot of cocaine, she would leap off the fucking Williamsburg. She never saw me do heroin, but she knows I do it. She didn't see me stab myself. She knows I did it. She wasn't on the Titanic, but it sunk. That's what I mean. Now we are showing everything on fucking TV. These videos are getting horrific and horrific. The guy struggling with that guy in the garage. I don't know. Who knows what's going on with this? But I'll say this about the cops, in the cops' favor. Either two guys in the garage, clearly that was a bad shoot. The guy wasn't, but the guy did have a gun, and they knew that going in. And and it was they had no other choice. They weren't trying to kill that guy. They were trying to arrest him. They were struggling to make sure they didn't kill him. That's the whole reason they're fighting with him. And then, they probably shouldn't really be allowed to be cops anymore because, they should be able to not shoot a guy in that situation and somehow else detain him. I mean, that's a bad out, But they're struggling with the guy, and this thing, stop resisting. I explained this the other day. I've been arrested a bunch of times, and when two guys are trying to cuff you, a lot of times they're working on each side of you, and it's a very obviously tense situation, and you're struggling and maybe still fighting back. And, maybe yelling out that you've done a bunch of benefits for cops. And that you could get them Joe Batteries tickets. No. One guy is trying to cuff you, and the other guy is moving your hand, and you don't realize, the guy doesn't realize that he's the one that makes it feel like you're, look at her tits. Is that Mila Kunis? We're watching TV too. That the cop is making it seem like you're resisting the other cop. So he says, "Stop resisting." It's like, it's your partner's pushing my arm, and they don't want to hear that either.
Well, it says something about guns that guy had a gun to protect himself, but it's the only reason he got shot.
Well, exactly. He had. There's the irony. That's what we call irony. Thank you. It's a definition of irony. Unfortunately, he was doing something illegal. I mean, that can't be legal to sell, just like that, right? Loose CDs, right? I mean, Levy does it.
Just selling your DVDs out front.
Is that illegal?
Yeah.
Well,
I think it was legal.
Was it legal?
Yeah, it was copied CDs.
Here comes Elizabeth Warren. Was it legal? Because the guy in New York was selling Lucy cigarettes. That's not legal.
Yeah, I don't think it was legal.
Okay. What? The one in New Orleans?
In Baton Rouge
was not legal.
It was not legal. Right?
Oh, okay. So there you go. He's doing something illegal, and they tell him to, put your stuff down, which you gotta be very careful. And then they got a gun on you because they know some of your history, maybe. And I don't know.
I've just learned that it's never made sense to have a gun if you... Like, if you're Plaxico Burress, do you ever think it was a good idea to have that gun?
No. Not at all.
Sweatpants?
No, absolutely not. What is he thinking? And then you realize, okay, his first name is Plaxico. The names in the NBA. There was a guy named Anthony Hardaway, and a great player. And that's a lot of you realize that that's a name a lot of people forget. Younger people.
Yeah, they just did a 30 for 30 about that. Shaq and
Well, was he have an issue, Anthony Hardaway, like with being a head case or something, a behavior problem?
No, he just ended up with bad knees. But there was a point where he was like first team All NBA, and they didn't know if him or Shaq was going to be like the main guy.
Well, they were Magic and Kareem,
and so they signed him first,
right?
And then Shaq kind of felt like he wasn't the one that was going to be the main guy there. They were kind of in competition because they even had the little penny. They had competing shoe contracts.
Right.
Because Shaq's Reebok never took off like Little Penny did.
Well, it's and I remember that they were. I mean, it was so bad that it was affecting the team play. And that first, the only championship that Shaq went to with Orlando, no one was beating that Houston team. They ran into Hakeem,
right?
But still, they were a very successful team,
and they beat the Bulls, right?
Yeah,
absolutely.
And then the next year, they thought they were going to beat them. And they got swept.
Yeah,
that was when everyone started pointing fingers.
Well, then it went to Detroit. Then the Bulls went to Detroit, knowing that this is the year they're going to beat Detroit.
But they said Shaq was like 23 at the time, and they're like, we're not giving a 23-year-old $20 million or something.
Yeah, good idea.
It worked out great.
What are you kidding me? He's gonna be 28 one day. Fucking dick. And his mother will fuck every guy on the team.
Oh.
It's not LeBron.
What a fucking. Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. I messed up my guys.
Wonder how she celebrated the championship.
Well, all I know is Kevin Love is buying some birthday gifts for a new honey in his life.
I would have said J.R. Smith.
J.R. Smith. I figured I'd go for the white guy. J.R. Smith looks like a very troubled man. Like, you can't get tattoos on your neck much higher than that, right? I mean, he's got tattoos on his Adam's apple.
Well, there's a story about him. He's
of
friends
course
with this.
There is.
There's this friends with this kid with Down syndrome.
Well, and you know what that kid tells his friends the same thing.
Well, that's the thing. I honestly think they just get along really well. Like, they made it seem like he was doing charity.
Right.
But
let me tell you something. It ain't the fact that he got rebound syndrome. It's actually Down syndrome. It ain't the fact that he got Down syndrome. Yeah, okay, just fine. Same Down, it's fine. We don't care. We don't have time. It's that I finally found my fuck on my level. Like my fuck, we talk about throwing our own shit across the room in the hotel.
Oh God!
And like, yeah, people don't accept that because I'm some sort of genius. I can see the beauty in it. And his excuse is he's a fucking retard.
That's the medical term?
He's a fucking retard. That's his excuse. My excuse is I'm some sort of genius. His excuse is direct opposite, which I think is very interesting. Direct opposite is true with him. He a retard. I'm a genius. That's why I throw my own shit. You people living in the middle never throw your shit. Good for you. Good luck with your paging Dr. Boring.
Where's the excitement in your life?
Yeah, I guess so. Well, what's it feel like to know you wake up every day and it's the same day?
Same shit.
Same shit. Same day. Same day. I'm going to go to work, provide for my family, have a boring dinner, and not throw my own shit at woman. I had a Down syndrome kid. At Corky. I call him Corky. He laughs. And he makes fun of my speech impediment. No, but Anthony Hardaway's mother, you probably know this, spelt his name Anthony because that's how she thought you spelled Anthony. Did you know that?
No.
That is, Dan, is that the truth?
I remember that.
Yeah. And I used to talk about stand-up, but I hate myself for stopping this joke as well. But when that story came out, I did one where I said, before you get on Mrs. Hardaway, there's similar stories. I said, Patrick Ewing's mom has a similar story. She thought that's how you spelled Anthony.
Whoa.
Oh, I love telling that joke.
Oh.
I would preface that joke by going, hey, here's a joke you'll hate. And of course the joke is Patrick is nothing at all like Anthony. And his mother being African American might have thought that was Anthony. And I enjoyed explaining it too afterwards. to Silver Friedman.
I always think that's a great reference still.
What?
I think Galifianakis used to have a joke about my girlfriend looks a little bit like Claudia Schiffer and a lot like Patrick Ewing.
Where is the little, though? Did he say that on the piano?
Yeah, playing some background.
Before he gained 100 pounds, grew a beard, and figured I'll just be funny this way. I always liked Zach. I knew Zach in the early 90s when me and him used to stand-up New York was a very, very hot club in the early 90s. It was almost like Comedy Cellar-esque of the Upper West Side, that type of vibe. And everybody wanted to do sets there. I was with the crowd was great. Broadway in 78, stand-up New York. The first club I was ever a regular at in New York. And, the good-looking broads from that area. And a lot of Puerto Rican bachelorette parties because they came down from the Bronx. And I'll tell you, they weren't that bad.
Mio.
Yeah. Hell. You're funny, oh.
Congratulations.
Yeah, yo. I hear you regular, yo. I think you're funny. You hear Rick Bill?
Sounds like
You hear Rick Bill gonna do a show on the hood of his car, you know.
it's Cajun man, and if he was Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
Ew.
Hell. For no reason, just on a tangent.
I sidetracked you. Stand up New York.
Oh, stand up New York. No, that's where I remember I had quite a few drinks at the bar with Zach. And I remember he was very thin, Zach, and he had like rock star hair, like he still has that. He really like it was really attractive hair.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, as a guy, I'm very secure in my sexuality. But my God, he had a nice set of hair. I'm not gonna lie to you. Yo, I'm out of gold. You talking about I got hair? Well, I'm talking about my friend's hair. Look at that shit. He the dude, oh. I mean, that's how he would settle that. But Jack was very much a ladies' man too, like that intellectual thing, and he completely changed physically. And I still think he's very smart and funny, but there's a lot. The reason he's rich, it's so and what's frustrating about this business is there's a lot of people who just think he's like a fat guy with a beard, and it sucks but that's how you get mainstream success. Dan, your thoughts?
Well, he was that good-looking guy, and he had that VH1 show where he was like, right. You remember that when he was playing the piano? And then when that got
quite
canceled,
frankly, like the rest of America,
I did not. And then he came back and did a set, and I saw him, and he was like heavy and had the beard, and he was just like, I used to be somebody, I had the Goo Goo Dolls email address.
So did my fucking girlfriend I was dating. It's weird you say that. Did I ever tell you that story?
No.
I was dating that shit. Well, not dating. It was like, well, whatever. I'm not gonna get into it.
The Goo Goo Dolls?
In LA, well, I met her in LA, and it's a very hard thing. Like, I've had a lot of heartbreak, but it's my own fault. And I had OD'd at Bad TV, and I had to be taken to a hospital, and I ended up going home. Quincy Jones let me go home, and I was at the Columbian Presbyterian, right underneath the George Washington Bridge. Yeah, exactly. Hey, dummy. Bill. That's the one. Why'd you go inside the kitchen and stick your face in the door and make gorilla cookies? That joke was on television. Red Fox said that somebody got in his ear, some militant black guy said, how come you don't have any Jewish writers? It's ridiculous. How come you don't have any black writers? It's all Jews writing. And he gets all, for 1 week, I want no more Jew writers. I want to see all black faces. And the first network read through all black writers. It just bombed miserably. And he just casually got up, took off his glasses, and went, bring me back my Jews. There's so many great Red Fox stories, like him taking his head out of a hooker's ass with coke on the story, telling a producer of a show who's telling him he's late for his monologue with a live audience and a TV crew. Can a fella relax? What was I talking about?
Goo Goo Dolls.
Goo Goo Dolls. Thanks.
Broadway's Dark Tonight.
Reminded me of that. Really? Because of LGBTQ?
No, that's a Goo Goo Doll song.
Oh, it is? I didn't know that. I don't know any of their shit.
That's their only hit, I think.
I know. I'll tell you why I don't. So, me and this girl kind of, getting it on, that Artie Lang style, getting it on. And she was very upset what happened to me. And, I was actually, with her the night before I got arrested for coke. And she lived in a cul-de-sac and in a very interesting building. Very eclectic group of people. The pool I used to call Pill Pool. You could buy any kind of pill by that pool. there was a guy in a Speedo bathing suit who never went in the pool. And he was there 24/7 with tanning lotion. And you could buy uppers, downers, black beauties, poppers, Mexicans, Johnny Ockers, Ralph Ontood, Peppy Chimpers. Anything you wanted, any type of pill was there. And, I was really in love with this girl in a lot of ways. And she just thought I was crazy, though, because I was. Like, my other girlfriend in L.A., she just eviscerated me, too. And that's what they can do. They just take you out. And, but this picture that I put up on Twitter today, it reminded me of my old girlfriend and this one girl that we're talking about. I'm in Columbian Presbyterian on New Year's Eve, 1996, after getting arrested and going into a psych ward for taking a swing at a Los Angeles cop, and with an 8-ball blow in my pocket. And I do time in L.A. County. They transfer me home to Jersey. Now I'm in rehab. Then they send me to a psych ward. From the psych ward on New Year's Eve, I get one call. I call the girl, and I think she's in New York, where she was from. And I'm saying, maybe she'll come up here to the mental institution. And she could watch a guy watch me shave. And very romantic. And I'm thinking, this will cheer me up, though. I'm in a mental home, and this will cheer me up. I thought my career was over. And I call her, and I go, where are you? She goes, I'm in Miami. And I go, oh, okay, well, I'm glad you're having a good time. Or who you with? And there was like a pause. And she goes, I hear, Goo Goo Dolls. People chanting like Goo Goo Dolls. And I go, well, you're at a Goo Goo Dolls concert? She goes, yeah. I go, why? She goes, well, I'm friends with one of them. And I said, oh, fuck. I said, oh, fuck. Oh my God. I said, I had a call. This is how I'm finding out. I didn't need this. And she realized. She goes, well, you called. I'm like,
Friends.
I don't know. Yeah. I go, yeah, right, friends.
It's like Friends with Pauly Shore.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's like the chick. Shut the fuck up.
Well, at least it was a shitty band and not somebody that you liked, because that would ruin it.
Yeah.
If it was.
That's an excellent point. That's an excellent point. You imagine if it was like, Journey.
Or if the only thing, if it was Right Said Fred or something, like
Right
a band.
Said Fred.
At least Goo Goo Dolls you still kind of hear once in a while. Like,
Well,
oh, shit.
what name a Goo Goo? I don't even know who they are. Like, name a Goo Goo Dolls song. I can't do it.
That Broadway.
Oh, they had one. The big one was from that movie where Nicolas Cage was an angel or something.
City of Angels?
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yes. That was their big
He
hit.
plays Mark Langston? What is the song? How's it go?
The name of Iris. Iris is the name of the song.
Iris?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never heard of it.
You know if you hear it. It's,
I thought the one was Iris.
No.
All right. That's the only one I know.
You don't want to play it so they get royalties for Artie.
Fuck them.
Fuck the Goo Goo Dolls.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, oh, fuck them. You're right. Terrible.
Well, it's just good that it wasn't like Tom Petty or something. That you could.
That's, again, an excellent way to look at it, I guess. But you're still.
Song.
I feel you're still reveling in that, What'd you say there?
It goes. I don't want the world to see me. They'd understand.
Well, it makes you feel better with dancing.
And then they did.
Why are you yelling?
But they're from Buffalo.
Then they did the.
Oh, that's great.
The other song, "Give a Little Bit." They did a remake of "Give a Little Bit."
Oh no!
Yeah, that was their second biggest hit.
But just be happy it wasn't like Dave Grohl or something. Just
Okay,
be in your face.
We
that
get
drummer.
it. Be happy it wasn't, your uncle.
Springsteen.
Oh, that was mine. I told every girlfriend.
What happened to your mic? Did it go down your pants?
If it was Springsteen, I've told every chick I've ever dated, I said, including Dan. I said, you can fuck him. You can fuck him. I don't give a shit.
Just don't suck his dick.
Yeah, that would be nice. Don't suck his dick.
Out of respect.
You know why they did it out of respect? I dated this chick who was the Playboy lingerie chick. Is my point. And again, stunner. But I realized there's nothing going to go on with this chick ever. It's her funeral, because quite frankly, I'm a bit of a charmer. But she used to. I banged her, and she was in my condo in L.A. and I couldn't get her out because it was a Sunday, and the Giant game. The Giants started at 10 a.m. In L.A. All right? Does anybody experience that? It's awful. So I'm trying to get this chick out of my house so I can watch the fucking Giant game. Hot blonde. First time I ever banged it to her, I'm thinking to myself, I'll fuck her a lot. Because now I broke that ice. And clearly I can help her in show business. She knows that. And I take her to breakfast first, and we're talking, and she goes, "What are you doing today?" I said, "I have a bet on the Giants." And she goes, "Oh, you're a Giant fan." I said, "Yeah." She goes, "I'm friends with one of the Giants."
Oh, God.
Fuck. I'm like, fuck, you're friends. And she's a Playboy lingerie chick. I mean, come on. What? They're not exactly, they're into gardening. Which is...
They take yoga together.
Well, fuck them. So,
the same book club.
I think, like... yeah, they get booked. I said, "Who is your friend on the Giants?" Now, keep in mind, I'd already been burned by the Goo Goo Dolls drummer. This is 6 years after that story. And I'm like, it can't get worse than that. Well, I was wrong. I said, "Who is your friend on the Giants?" Because clearly she's fucking the Giants. Or this Giant, at least. In the millisecond it took for her to answer that question, I said in my mouth 45 times, "Please be a white guy, please be a white guy." Now, I'm not racist. This is the direct opposite of racism. Well, here's what racism is. Racism was when you are prejudging somebody and thinking they're inferior to you because of their race. This is the direct opposite. I think they're better than me at sex. You understand? So it's not racism. I say, "Who's your friend?" I'm going, "Please be white guy." When she said the name, it was as if she said it in slow motion. It was as if she said it like one of those things, it sounded like the Charlie Brown teacher, but slowed down.
Or a Christmas Story.
Distorted, yeah, exactly. And here's what she said in that voice. "Pepper Johnson." Pepper Johnson.
There's never a white guy named Pepper.
No. Maybe Salt. Oh my God. It couldn't have been Filmagaki.
I have a positive spin on that. At least when she said, you never want to hear when they say, "Oh, I know a bunch of those Giants." At least she said, "I know one of them." I know someone on the Giants. A bunch of them.
Yeah.
Right. Paul, why don't you give your plugs?
Paul has a website.com. See you in Toronto this week.
Well, that was perky. That was the most perky I've ever heard you do that.
I'm opening for the Goo Goo Dolls on Saturday.
Why did I tell you that? Why did I tell you that?
Because now I'll hate her even more.
Well, who the new lead singer for the Goo Goo Dolls is? Pepper Johnson. I can't believe that. Well, let's end with a gay song. Do you have one?
Yeah.
What is it? Just set it up.
This is to Jack and Diane. All right, here we go.
Yeah.
There was a young guy.
Little ditty about Fort Dan. Fresh towels to clean the cum from Danny's young man.
Oh, my God.
Danny say, "Hey, show me your cock." He loves to tease. And when I pulled it out, he went down on his knees.
Because he was right in front of me.
Danny, suck my schlong. Deep down in your throat till the jizz is all gone. Danny, suck my schlong.
Oh, life.
deep into your throat where it belonged all along.
Where it belonged all along.